The counterintuitive solution to being afraid of having sex with someone is to tell them that you're afraid. Now, that will be the last thing you want to do because you have already made that wrong. You have made it wrong that you are afraid, and you're trying to bypass and bulldoze past your fear to be where they're at. And that's the problem. It's not that you feel afraid. Everyone feels afraid. Everyone feels nervous. It's not like a badge or a sticker that's like, that's who you are all the time. It's how you feel in this particular instance. So if you say to them that you're afraid, that's actually going to do a lot more good than you trying to make them comfortable, even though you're uncomfortable, but bypassing, bulldozing past what you feel in order to try to get to be at the same level as what you perceive they feel. You don't know, but they probably are feeling uncomfortable in their own way. So you saying that you're afraid actually gets all of this tension out in the open, and it can help a lot. And I just want to mention this because I've spent a lot of time denying, disowning, pretending that I'm not afraid when I am. When if I just said I was afraid, I would have had a lot more openness and freedom in these tense kind of interactions where nothing is said, there's a lot of assuming. And maybe they would be able to handle it when you say that they're afraid. Maybe they would find that, maybe they would be uncomfortable, but you have to be aware that it's okay to make other people uncomfortable. You don't have to live with your discomfort and think that you need to make everyone else around you comfortable while you're uncomfortable. You can make yourself comfortable by speaking what you think and feel, and risk getting them uncomfortable, but hey, at least you're not uncomfortable anymore. Because that's the thing, isn't it? It's always kind of trying to make others feel like they're comfortable at the expense of your own discomfort. And you don't have to do that. If you're afraid, name it. Because by pretending you don't feel what you feel, you're actually going to put yourself through more problems. It's going to create more problems in the situation itself and in reflecting on it later. So saying the uncomfortable feelings that you feel at the time saves you a lot of heartache and tension, and actually it can be really freeing to just admit that vulnerability and realize that it's not the end of the world. And a lot of people view humiliation and embarrassment or cringe, they view all of that as annihilation. And that's why we have a lot of anything but. We have a lot of bravado and masks of pretending to be more comfortable in situations where we're uncomfortable. And the truth is it really dissipates tension to name that you're nervous. And yeah, a lot of people who can't own their own fear and have their own need to always have that mask, yeah, they will be uncomfortable with you mentioning that, and they will find it a burden. But that's their problem, to not have the emotional capacity to deal with the human experience of how some people get nervous and scared. They get nervous and scared just because they repress, deny, disown, and do their own little dance. Doesn't mean it doesn't come out and bubble over in other ways. Like, there are times when people lash out 20 years of rage in one setting. It's like, is that productive? No. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. Just say how you feel when you most don't want to say how you feel, in whether it's nervousness, fear, or even declaring that you really love somebody. Sometimes you're actually just avoiding the fear of that feeling, whereas by denying that feeling, you have a lot more problems. And or at least maybe the solution is don't deny it to yourself. Like, think to yourself, I'm afraid, I'm gonna go. And just own it. Whether you have to say it to somebody else or whether you just have to admit it to yourself, don't bypass and bulldoze and make that feeling wrong and keep trying to tell yourself that you should feel X, you should be this way, and this shouldn't be a big deal. That's actually the problem, is you bypassing what you feel and invalidating yourself to make someone comfortable. So stop doing that. Stop doing that. It doesn't help.